are just joining us, this is Good Morning Kenya. I am Jain, Wambui, and we are glad that you have chosen to start your morning with us. As mentioned earlier, we want to get started with the first discussion, but before we get to that, the hashtag still remains to be Good Morning Kenya pale Twitter. At KBC Channel 1 News is our official station handle. My handle is a Jain Wambui across all the socials. Na hapo hivi Twitter, naona William Wambui anasema live following the show pale akiwa Watamu. Anauliza ako wapi Doreen. Aranje, present yourself. Wambui is looking for you. Walusia anasema Jane, loving the show this morning. Thank you so much for being with us. Naona Richard anasema nowadays people disappear mysteriously. What is going on, and especially during parties and most of the young people? Again, these conversations have been on the papers almost all week long, and the latest one in regards to the killing of Chantel, the 8-year-old little girl. We also have Reinhard anasema watching the show, absolutely loving it. Shout out to you. Lakini ujaniambia unatupata ukiwa pande gani. So please also check in with your location. We will be looking at what you have to say as we proceed on with the show. Wamburi, let me just let you know, Dorina Koinadi area. She will be coming up in not too long, so stand by. Utamona, Rangia Thao, Mandunya ametoka set, so don't worry. All right. We want to get into our first conversation, and this is all about the film industry. But before we get to the good, the juice of this conversation, have a look at this.
One moment tuko hapa, the next tulishaenda.
Terrorism hauna nafasi yoyote katika jamii letu.
Ageta yuko huku ndani.
Hao wanatosha.
Kuwa mwangalifu. Unajua the leaflets were meant for you.
Ni nini mbaya? Hakuna kitu mbaya sana. Leave me alone. That's an order.
I'm certain that you're all aware of the recent attacks and abductions orchestrated by the terrorist group Al-Shabaab.
أنا كام بقاي لما شنا كم عبسونا.
Our mission is to rescue the hostages. These are our targets: Jibril and Mohammed. Their leader is still unknown.
I'm here to negotiate on behalf of the government. What name can I use?
Call me a legion.
In this world, there are three kinds of people: the sheep, the sheepdogs, and the wolves.
Come on.
We are the sheepdogs. It's our job to protect the sheep from the wolves.
Wamefika. Wako halkan.
Mission to Rescue. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a movie by Kenyans, done in Kenya to the glory of the world. Yo, I have a part of the cast with us in studio this morning to just talk a bit about that project. Such a step for us as Kenyans. We are used to praising movies from elsewhere, but here we are. Why don't we start by celebrating our own? With me in studio this morning, I have two gentlemen. I'll start with the gent to my furthest right. That is Gilbert Lucaya. He is the director and part of this movie. Good morning, Gilbert.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
I'm happy to be here.
Karibu sana. And to my immediate right, we have Melvin Alusa, who is an actor and also one of the lead casts in that particular movie. Good morning, Melvin.
Good morning, Wambui.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Ebu tuanze kwanza, ukijiona kwa trailer hivi unasikiaje? Unasikiaje?
Nasikia utamu.
Stero. Just before we get even deeper into this, how was it for you just going through the entire shooting process of that movie? How would you summarize it?
Do you want me to give you detail or just
No,
one?
Just in a statement, in a sentence, how it was for you.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat, and tears. As the director, unajua mambo haiwezi endelea bila director.
Well,
being part of this project, it is something that ngojeni tu mutaiona. But how was it for you?
Yeah, it's a challenge like no other.
Yeah.
Having been in the industry for so long, when this presented itself, I must say I had sleepless nights, even before any role of the camera. You know, just reading the script and seeing the possibilities and the challenges therein.
Trying to put together the mental pictures and how it's going to flow.
Yeah, it was scary.
It was?
But well, you know, they say if a dream is not scary, then there's no need to. Yeah, it's not big enough.
All right. Now, let me come to you, Melvin. You know, just looking at your artistic journey, how far back does it go? You know, looking at the creative space, we're living in a time where the creative space and the creative industry is thriving.
Yeah.
But a number of years back, that wasn't the case. How far does your creative journey go back?
It goes back, it spans over about 15 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started, of course, generally, like we all do, on stage, and slowly, progressively advanced to you know, local TV dramas like Mactano Junction, just to mention that one. And it's been going progressively for me also, for me, but also as an industry, we've been embracing new options and new challenges. And I can say, you know, finally we're here. Finally, we can play at the world stage.
Yes,
yeah.
Here we are.
Play at the world stage.
And even for you as a director, where did the journey start as a creative? You know, creativity presents itself in many forms.
Yeah.
But for you getting to where you are today, where did it start from?
Well, theater. Most of us started at the theater many years back, 1998. Theater, a play here, a play there. Then you feel you want to achieve something else, or become a director for theater.
Yes.
And then someone sees some special thing in you, and they tell you, maybe you should try this. And, and here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. And I like the fact that you've brought out somebody saw something in you. That goes back to the space that you were in, the support system that was there back then. Do you feel it was as supportive to get you to where you are today?
Yes. I must say I'm lucky that when we started, we had people that cared for the industry.
Yeah.
And they were ready to, you know, do anything. I can easily mention people like the late James Falkland of Phoenix Theatre, who was very instrumental in the lives of many artists right now. Yeah. Yeah, old and young. Well, not very young, but you know what I mean.
Young is relative.
Yeah. So yeah, people, and we have a saying in the theatre world, especially, that you never know who's watching. Yeah, and you know, like for me, it is really James Falkland who pointed at me and felt this guy can direct.
There's something in you that you probably hadn't even identified.
I hadn't, I can be honest with that.
All right. Yeah. And even for you, Melvin, you know, we are in a space where creativity is appreciated. The industry is shifting. But looking at when you were starting off, how was the support system around you in terms of even your family, where you come from, those that you consider mentors? Do you feel they were positioning you in a place that you can actually say, that has led me to where I am today as a creative?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say, unlike Gilbert, who is my senior, I came into the industry years after him. Yeah. But by the time I was coming, I was getting in. The years were not. It wasn't. I came in at a point where I would say the industry was beginning to take off. So for some of us, or like me, it wasn't really difficult in terms of getting people who can point me towards the right direction, or even finding opportunities that are worthwhile, you know, per se. But I can point out people like Keith Pearson, who, you know, is one of my mentors. Mombi Kaigwa also has been one of my mentors. Yeah. I've had the privilege of working with Gilbert also on a project here, or the other. But this one specifically being, you know, the biggest project I've worked with him. So yes, I've had people who have pointed me in this direction. Yeah, you know, it's filmmaking is collaborative. You
Yes.
cannot, you don't filmmake in isolation.
No Lone Rangers.
No Lone Rangers.
No,
Lone
that
Rangers.
cannot happen here.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a crew.
Yes.
The cast in itself demands a number of people. And allow me to just ask about the family setups in terms of support, because you find so many people in the creative space, they say my family played a huge role in terms of supporting me and encouraging me to take on this artistic journey, because we are coming from a time where the creatives, again, the creative industry wasn't as appreciated as it is today. So looking at, even, let me start with you, Gilbert, you know, just the family dynamics, how they played in terms of supporting you and encouraging you to keep doing what you're doing.
I've had a blessed family that has supported me in many ways, even financially when things were tough.
I can imagine.
Although sometimes they do things and deep down you feel like they really want you to change the course of your life. But huyu ni wetu tu, huyu ni wetu. Wacha
side hustle.
They usually, but really I'm very thankful that never at any point in my career nobody said this is what you're doing is useless. Even when I was down, even when things were not as looking up as you'd want them to, there was always like that support, and I really thank God for that, and of course thank my family.
Absolutely. Was it the same case for you, or things were a bit different?
To be honest, getting to this point that I am now, without the support of course, nuclear and extended family, it would have been impossible.
It would have been impossible.
My family has been supportive. I've been blessed to come from a family that is also quite artistic. We have musicians in the family. We have people who, some of my extended family members sang in choirs. So for me to take this journey, of course, most parents would say, okay, we desire or we wish that you take this other path, but if this is your path, and of course they test you. Just how long will this path go?
How long will it stand?
But luckily you keep getting better and better, and so family has been it's critical. Has been solid. It's critical.
And this is why we always encourage our viewers, that's why we like having these conversations here in studio about the entertainment space, and especially on Thursday we get to heavily focus on the entertainment scene. It goes to just urge you as a parent to allow your child to thrive in the space that they are in. Allow them the chance to mold their path. As you advise them and guide them, of course, but let them guide you on how they want their career path to take shape. Now, let me come back to you, Gilbert. Looking at how the film industry has evolved over the years, how would you characterize it from what you have seen, what you have experienced from back then when you were starting, getting to where you are today with such a fantastic piece of art?
For me, the Kenyan film industry is a volcano waiting to erupt, really.
In a good way?
Yeah. Not Goma, not killing people.
I know. In a good way.
Very good way. Or let's even say a giant that just needs awakening.
A sleeping giant.
Yes, just needs to be triggered a bit. And the trigger, we're talking about audiences, value. We do what we do because we want it to be seen. First of all, and of course then that comes in with monetization of the content, and that, to me, that is one of, I can't say the only missing link, that is one of the missing link. We have our own in-house things that we fight every day about story, about technical, about stuff technical, but those are fights that will never end, because I believe art is an expression, and expressions are unique to individuals, and sometimes you might not feel me. I don't really expect everyone in the world or in Kenya to love Mission to Rescue. No. But I expect a good number of people to appreciate it as our expression, as my expression as a director. So for me, if really we got the market right, I think the world will see, because you see, market, what a good market enables me to do is now just dwell in my zone and create, and not focus on other things. I know my bills will be taken care of. I know I will be paid royalties until I'm 74. and a half.
0.5. I like how you're being specific down to the point.
Yeah.
Now, remember, we are having a conversation about the film industry. Of course, we'll be running for you that trailer again, Mission to Rescue. Such a beautiful movie. We have two of the crew here with us in studio to just shed more light on how things have been during the production and just looking at the film industry as a whole. So if you have any questions in regard to this conversation or you're just seeking clarification, feel free to talk to us using the hashtag Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. We will be back after this quick breather. Stay with us. Welcome back. Glad you are still with us. I am Jain Wambui. Rono Elagat Nakwana pale Twitter. Anasema always enjoying the show. Say hi to Melvin from Nairobi. You are inspiring us, the youth, to do so much. And thank you for joining and for making us wanting to join the Kenyan film industry. That goes out to you. He also says that he's in West Pokot, by the way. I love the show. Now the Kijeshi Kenyan movie. Bro! And as a Mwambie director and the starring, good job.
Thank you.
All right. Hey bro, umetweet tena. Tunataka Kenyan movie ingine. Tena sasa ma destructive movies. Like volcanic eruption. But then, we are not going to make a joke of that. Okay? All right. And there's also, let me just get this one on the Good Morning Kenya hashtag. A question had come in regards to now the movie. This is Vic who's saying Mission to Rescue is such a good movie. But being a Kenyan in Kenya, how do you get such machineries and weapons for the movie? Relax. Watatuambia how it was. But let me come to you, Melvin. You know, as per, just speaking from what one of our viewers has said, looking at the Kenyan film as a people, we haven't been known to have that screening culture as such. Watu kwenda movie, it is an occasion. And more so to watch Kenyan movies. How do you feel about this, the Kenyan screening habits?
Yeah, Kenya...
Over the years.
Yeah, over the years, you know, the culture hasn't been there really. You know, like just to get a Kenyan theater up imejaa, like you're saying, to watch a Kenyan movie, that's a high, it's almost like a high calling. Now, Haimanishi Mission to Rescue is, you know, is the best movie to Metro. So, okay, it's an amazing movie. But we've had other really worthwhile shows that people can go to watch. But tukupata, so partly maybe because too of the culture, ya watu hawendi kuna movie kama theater, or also pia, sometimes, you know, we as filmmakers just get there. We've done the film, we've pioneered it to ourselves, industry stakeholders, and then marketing plan haikuangi beyond hapo. But you see, in where the industries have developed, there's most budgets of marketing are almost equal to budgets of production, so that the marketing is done on such a high level.
Full circle.
Perhaps if we had that, we'd see more people trickling into the theater, you know, into the theaters. However, with so tukasema okay, fine, amtaki kwenda kuna movies zetu kwa theaters. Okay, so nyinyi mko wapi? Tuko kwa simu. Ukiingia kwa building squeeze, you see people kama ni the security guards, they're on their phones, they're watching something, you know, even in buildings, apartment buildings, around 11 o'clock when the house managers are done with their crafts za nyumba, wamekaa pale nje wana watch. So the fact that, let me just get the cat out of the bag, that Safaricom, you know, carefully thought out a platform here, base, whereby for as little as 10 shillings you can watch good quality Kenyan content like like Mission to Rescue on your phone for 10 shillings. That therefore, tumesema okay, since movie ni kwenda kwa theaters ni occasion. How about we just get
Bring
people
it to you.
where they are?
Okay.
You know, so I think this will this brings a whole aspect, of course, now as filmmakers. Monetization now becomes a reality, and also, like Gilbert says, we make movies, we tell these stories for people to see.
Okay.
Haina raha yote kufanya movie then mimi and Gilbert tunasema tunaambia napo ama hapa kwa hii scene nililia mbona ukuweka hiyo kitu hiyo sio baki
mpaka ipat.
So with Safaricom Base coming through with this platform is just a big blessing for us filmmakers, and we are hoping that, you know, it'll get good reception. So far I think so good, so that our content can get to people where they are.
All right,
in West Pokot.
In West Pokot,
in West Pokot.
And you know, what else can we do as the creatives, because this needs to come from the creative industry, to also just change the mentality that we as a people have about local films. You know, there's this perception that Western is best. From the other side is best. But when it comes to appreciating local movies, you're also looking for why didn't always comparing and looking for what is not working as opposed to supporting what is working. Changing that mental space for the population.
Well, I believe in looking inward before I look outward. So I usually say it is upon us, especially in the creative world, to just embrace it, and because I feel there will come a time when we will do something and people will have nothing to say about it.
Yes.
Because we are gradually improving each other. We let's sit down and take the feedback, and then go back to our drawing boards and say, yeah, this makes sense, this doesn't. If we are aloof of of all these things that are happening around us, there's no growth. We will not grow as an industry. You know, there is space for criticism. There is space for other people's opinions. The truth of the matter is the Kenyan audience, the Kenyan viewer is quite has a varied medium of information and entertainment. They have seen it all. We started watching, series, American Hollywood series like 24 on local TV so many years ago. So our standards are there. And I'm not talking about us creatives, even the viewers. They're watching Prison Breaks, they're watching House of Cards, they're watching, Extraction.
Things that set the bar, like over here.
And the truth of the matter is, Jain, once you've been exposed to such content,
it becomes
there's
a
an
reference
expectation.
Point?
Yes. And I have never had a problem with people comparing. No, deep down, of course, I will sit down and say, I wish they knew how our resources are not
situation kwa ground.
Situation kwa ground vile iko ni tofauti. But you see, I cannot tell everyone in the country that I don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. I just go back into our creative spaces and try to identify the things that we can access with the resources that are available, and one of the resources that I really encourage, and this is basically speaking to the fellow creatives out there, is time. Time is a huge resource, and most of the time free.
Yes.
Most of the time free. And if we invested time in what we do, Mission to Rescue was not shot in a week. You will not see a week's work when you watch Mission to Rescue. You will see, like Melvin put it, weeks and weeks and weeks of blood, sweat, and tears. And I think it shows.
It shows clearly, and even when you do a shoddy job, it will also show. That boils back down to you as the director and as the character. Just even what does it take for you to step into character such that mtu akiwatch, they're like, this guy is good. In as much as you have been doing it for a number of years, and in as much as you have been a director for the many years that you have been, when it comes to your personal discipline and conversations around excellence and giving the best with what you have, what does that mean for you? And especially when it comes to preparing for this character, stepping into character, what does it take for you so that people understand it? Just because they see this product on air, bro, the things that went into that, I did not just wake up and do it.
Yeah. So like for I'll just so generally my mantra is, an actor prepares. You don't prepare, I will see your unpreparation direct It'll be seen. It'll be just be seen. There's no substitute to just you as an actor, as a performer, preparing. And by preparation, there's a number of there's levels of preparation. So of course there's, like, with, now let me talk about Mission to Rescue.
Yes.
Mission to Rescue is not your normal average movie, because of especially the physicality that is involved, and being a military movie, being a rescue military movie, the action, the physicality, all those things we had to prepare for, for them. Just aside from the story, aside from me as the lead actor, understanding what the captain was about, understanding what his challenges were, getting that, and of course that also, working. So there's my understanding, but there's also what the director's vision is. Because me and Gilly had, night conversations. We went and, Gilbert pushed and pushed subtly.
You didn't do that flip the way it's supposed to be
the way, the way he, something is said to you as you think, now this one I've gotten it. This is this is how it's going to be. And then he comes with a different version or a new insight. And by the time I was leaving that room, I was like, this guy just crumbled my castle. he just
brought everything down.
Yeah, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're supposed to be on set at 6 in the morning. You've got no time to. So you see, so there's the working with the director to understand his vision, and also of course me with my input. But with Mission to Rescue, the physicality, man, the team was a crazy team. It's not just, the entire Simba troop there, we trained early. We had to get the psychic of not just a soldier, but these are special forces commandos, how they train, how they eat, their patterns, how they sleep.
The language,
the way, because if you're going for a mission, how do you position yourselves? How do you enter a building? How do you secure a building? How do you rescue? All those things we had a proper boot camp, and the boot camp wasn't static, like we did it and then finished. It was all through the shoot. We didn't stop training. We didn't stop getting our minds in there. The entire, and it was a long time. It was more than 2 months. It was long.
You literally have to shift
from
Melvin
completely
to your character,
completely,
all the way. And for those who are in the film industry, they take shortcuts, and they still complain that mbona watu appreciate understanding the value of putting in the work. From your standing,
it's a pity that money has become a measure of everything. So people feel you not paying me enough to do what like somebody will be like, I can't do that for 10 shillings. What Melvin is talking about, and the physicality of it, and even psychological preparation, because you see that character is a human being with a family and everything, all these things. So even as you're doing the physical work, you have to still engage your mind and keep reminding yourself, my name is Captain Baraza, I am ailing, I need to to protect my country, I'm so patriotic. All these things need to come in, and so really for me, we need to make a bit more sacrifice when it comes to our work, so that we say, once I accept a deal, regardless of the money that is being offered, I will put in my everything. And
go
like
all the way.
Said, it will show. Because eventually it will show on that box, on that screen, it will.
If you took shortcuts, it will seep through.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the resources that have been involved and tailoring it to the Kenyan space. Apa, we have Victor, Torch Victor, who's, as I read to you guys, he said that Mission to Rescue is such a good movie, but being a Kenyan in Kenya, how did you get the machinery and the weapons for the movie? The resources that went into this particular production. Let me start with you, Melvin.
I think
in terms of even facilitating you as the character to perform to the best of your ability.
I can say with Mission to Rescue, we were privileged to get good training from not necessarily the army, but consultants that knew how the military operations are handled and are operated. Yeah, so that is how we were able to to like really get into the mindsets and the physicalities of being a soldier. So as a performer, when I'm told this is a consultant, for me that one ends there. But the deep dealings of how that gun ended in my hands, really, mimi napewa na namuwasonga.
Cheza kama wewe. Let me come to you as a director, especially with the equipment that you need to bring this mental image that you have to life. And considering the Kenyan space and where we are.
See, as much as what we see on TV, we accredit it to the actors, to the directors. There are people behind the scenes who are executive producers and producers who are really the enablers of the whole process. And Mission to Rescue, like you will see, was done by a company called Foxton Media. And Foxton are really behind and I think it's about determination. When I was contracted to do this job, I walked into a room full of guys who are determined to do it. They asked me, what do you want? Tell us what you want, we will sweat to get it to you. And I really have to thank Foxton for that. Because even us, the same amazement that Tosh has, we were equally amazed. We're like, wait, we're gonna use this is that? The real deal. And you want to be on a set where you say, I want to roll a car, and then you're told, go ahead. What do we need to do? Yes. And then they get a mechanic and they reinforce it with grills and they say, go. It's safe now. You can roll it. So there's really a lot of to attribute to this film. Foxton will take a lot of credit. We will take the credit that of the film eventually, but for now, but really Foxton did a lot of work. And and I can easily say from my experience that I have also met other people who are determined to raise the industry that way. But you know what has happened over years? We've let them down.
Now let's talk about that enabling space. And this starts from the government to the county governments to we the creatives in the industry and also the population as a whole. How have we let them down from where you stand? How have we let each other down?
We, like I said earlier, focus, money, and you just do things, you finish, and you go your way.
On to the next.
Yeah, but and then of course we mentioned earlier about talking. I mean, we've let our viewers down because we have thought that our films are our own, that we can just watch them in our own small spaces and applaud each other, and life moves on. Yet Melvin might attest to this or not, that even after we do that in our private spaces, we feel a void of sort that needs to be filled. And to see, everything is everything. If we don't let down the executive producers and these financiers who come in, and then don't let down the audiences, when these things come together, that's how industries are built. And I hope that we get it right, especially with platforms like Safaricom that really takes care of that end of markets and viewership.
Absolutely. And also let me get to hear from you, Melvin.
Just to add on to what Gilbert is saying. Like when I began, I said filmmaking is collaborative, and the point of letting each other down, especially when it comes to money, has been a factor in terms of like I'll be out and say that Foxton hasn't paid me $1 million to do this project, which would have been ideal. However, I gave more from my soul. I gave more than $1 million because you look at the opportunity, it's beyond monetary for now. We are at a point where, like Gilbert says, we are about to erupt. So can we pull each other together? Can we stand together? Yes, you don't have you can't afford me, in terms of my rate card is this, but what you have in your pocket
the
is
purchasing
this.
power, yeah.
But the opportunity is so amazing. Bring your brains, let me bring my brains, let's put this thing together, and I think as filmmakers, most of us have matured to that point. The opportunity just has to be worth it.
Yes.
When it's worth it, I'm in, I'll give money.
It's not just all about the money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, in as much as money is an important factor.
It is.
But what value does this leave for me, for the other person at the table?
Because you see, it's the kind of quality that Mission to Rescue has that has attracted people like Safaricom.
Yeah.
If we did something a quarter of what that thing is, or what the movie is, then maybe they'll just be like, nobody look in. Yeah. Nobody look in. Yeah. But big, my big thank you to, honestly, Foxton, because all the aspects, the aestheticity of the movie, they came through.
They went full circle.
Maybe just small addition to that. We and it's understandable that we have embraced or borrowed a medium, but we have refused to look at the history. The first thing when you go to film school, you're taught about film history, and people like Orson Welles never made money out of films. We are looking at the Spielbergs right now. We are looking at the Avengers, and they're making millions and billions of dollars. But if you go back many years when Hollywood was starting, they were not making money. It was just a satisfaction that eventually, the ripple effect was felt, and it felt like we can buy this, we can. It can be a regular thing that we do, and the culture developed, and eventually, so let's give a little, then we will take a lot eventually.
All right. Now I want to take a very quick commercial break, but we'll be back to conclude this conversation. Again, questions, comments, clarifications zikuje saa hii ndio tufunge pamoja from this particular break. But first, let's run for you the trailer in case you missed it.
One moment tuko hapa, the next tulishaenda.
Terrorism hauna nafasi yoyote katika jamii letu.
Ageta yuko huku ndani.
Hao wanatosha. Kuwa mwangalifu. Unajua the leaflets were meant for you.
Ni nini mbaya? Hakuna kitu mbaya sana. Leave me alone. That's an order.
I'm certain that you're all aware of the recent attacks and abductions orchestrated by the terrorist group Al-Shabaab.
أنا كام بقاي لما شنا كم عبسونا
Sitasarapta somaha.
Our mission is to rescue the hostages. These are our targets: Jibril and Mohammed. Their leader is still unknown.
I'm here to negotiate on behalf of the government. What name can I use?
Call me a legion.
In this world, there are three kinds of people: the sheep, the sheepdogs, and the wolves.
Come on.
We are the sheepdogs. It's our job to protect the sheep from the wolves.
Wamefika. Wako halkan.
Glad you're still with us. We are back with this particular conversation about the film industry, and more so narrowing down on Mission to Rescue, which is a Kenyan production done by a Kenyan crew, of course in partnership with so many other people that had a huge role to play with bringing this particular movie to life. Now, as we close this conversation, kuna maswali zinakuja through my directors up there, and they're asking about from a production point of standing when it comes to translating some of these movies to local language languages and tailoring them to the local spaces, how would you advise someone who wants to produce such what path to take from a director's standing?
I'm not sure I understand that.
In terms of, like, let's talk about Mission to Rescue.
Yeah.
You've done a movie like that, and you're looking to translate it to the local space in terms of the language, in terms of content that even my local village can understand. How would you advise them to that? They have a script that they're looking to produce, but they want to tailor it to my space, my village, my area, my locality.
This might sound a bit off, but I feel we've had this before, that art is a language on its own. We've watched films in Spanish and without necessarily having translations and reading captions, and we have understood what's happening. I feel that if a story is well created, those such things become secondary. But I also encourage that if you want to, if you're thinking of the Kenyan audience, then they think relatability as well. So, like our film is in English here, Kiswahili, Sheng, and then Somali, because that's how we live.
By itself, you've tailored it to the space.
Yes. Okay. We have that weakness, of course, of wanting to express ourselves more in English. But we have to, as we will find out with time, and some of us have found it out the hard way, that you shut out some demographic of people. There's just think it in your language. If kama wewe ni Mluya, weka Kiluya hapo, kama characters ni Waluya, kama ni Wakisi, weka, alafu tutaweka subtitles. Tunashtuka na Kiluya. Waluya tushtukagi sana. There's a friend of mine from Tanzania who usually says, is a poet called Mission Poet. He says, fikra sahihi huja kwa lugha sahihi. So you will find yourself expressing yourself better in that language. Usitake kuandika story ya Meru huko unatakweka Kizungu yote.
There's just some words that they make sense. Kuna vitu utahata kabisa. All right. And also for our actors, the young ones especially, who are looking to enter this space, what will be your advice to them when it comes to, number one, getting into character, working on yourself, and keeping up with the times?
I would say, I would encourage them. First of all, check yourself. Why do you want to get into the industry? Do you want to just come in and I want my family to see me on TV, I want my friends to celebrate me? If that's the case, then I would highly suggest you go for a TV commercial audition.
Yes.
You can quickly get in there, you're in, out, and gone. However, if you're passionate about filmmaking, if you're passionate about being an actor, the first thing I would tell you is, yes, get in, but number two, patience. You have to be extremely patient with this industry. I'm just doing my first lead role after 15 years.
Imagine that.
I'm just doing it after 15 years of doing small roles here, small roles there, cameo appearance pale, and sometimes you're seen so much on TV, guys think, huyu jamaa anakuanga lead character. When I tell some guys it's my first lead role, nasema, kwani kwangi lead wewe? Umekufanya nini? Patience and humility also.
Yes.
Kuna watu wako mbele yako, kuna wenye mko now the same level, na kuna wenye wako intermediary. Learn from these people. I learn from Gilbert learns from someone else, I learn from other people as well. Let's learn from each other. Then so patience, and then also nitawaambia, this industry, for mile tumefika saizi, if you want to play at where the game is right now, your commitment levels have to be 110%. You're not coming in as you mark time to go to college somewhere. You're coming in to be here, to enhance yourself within the industry, to learn the craft, to know how our characters made. How do I flesh out this character? What are some of the methods of acting that I can employ? An actor has a toolbox. And that toolbox has a spanner, has a screw. You keep putting your spool, you keep loading your toolbox, and that takes time.
Yeah, give the profession the respect it deserves.
The respect it deserves. Don't come and say I just want to jump around because
before ninge
go there.
Yeah.
Us, we've been here for over 15 years. Na bado tuko.
Okay.
And this is where the industry has reached on a mission to.
All right. Now, for everyone who's going to be or hasn't watched this movie, what do you want them to get and understand from this particular production? Hata kama hawataipenda, hata kama wataipenda sijui kiasi gani, ukiwatch hii, just remember this. Ukifikiria hiyo, let me come to you, Gilbert. You know, also looking at the, I like the fact that he's brought up the whole issue of professionalism in the industry, because even we as creatives, tunajiangusha. Nasamanga niko 8 to 5, lafu side hustle, ni production. Understanding that the industry deserves as much respect as any other industry is a huge factor in bringing the industry up.
Yeah, it's that cliche thing that they say, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's years and years of practice. Ukiuliza Kipchoge Keino ndiye afike hapo mahali yuko, vitu wamepitia na vitu wamefanya, hata kuambia niliamka tu siku moja nikafikiria nikimbie marathon nikashinda.
Na nikashinda.
You know, it's a build up. It's a build up. And I mean, the thing I would beg for the viewers and other people who might be interested into supporting the film industry is to trust us. I think I want Mission to Rescue people to watch it and trust us and feel I can trust these people, you know, because that way opportunities will come for me, for Melvin, for other young and old, you know, artists, and then, you know, the industry will grow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, as we close, in swali ya mwisho, I promise. You know, from everyone who hasn't watched this or have already watched this, what would you like the take home for them to be from this movie, whether from the story or from the production or from the fact that it was done in Kenya? What is the one thing that you pray that they take from this movie?
We have. We are safe. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
We have a military that really is beautiful, and they have knowledge, power, skills, and you know, the capacity to protect this country.
We are
that
safe.
is in no doubt. We are very safe.
All right.
Yeah, and then there is the last thing for our industry is let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing it. Let's push. Let's embrace initiatives like the Base by Safaricom, and let's see where they take us. Of course, nobody is going to glue you to that platform forever. If you feel it is not working for you, you step out.
Diversify.
But I can easily put the numbers out there and say, for us, we feel like it might be a good thing, because I've been saying this several times. When we did post our teaser, first teaser, that was about 2.5 months ago. It took us about a month and a half to get to something like 40,000 views, which is it's not a mean feat on its own, but when Safaricom embraced this, I think this trailer has been watched by over 1 million people.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
All right.
And numbers do matter in our industry.
Numbers matter. Melvin, back to you.
Yeah.
Ukisalimia watu. Your take home for our viewers and everyone who will interact with this movie.
Our military is highly trained, and they are resilient and really passionate. Their passion and resilient and resilience is honestly unmatched. And I would like that. I would like the viewers, or whatever sphere of life you come from, the passion and the resilience that you see with those special forces in Mission to Rescue, employ that to whatever you do. Kama ni kuuza mboga, kama ni you know, when is CEO or whatever, if you can just employ that to your life as well. Mimi kwenye natoka, where I come from, everybody anajua niko hapa.
Here we go. Aya.
So
1, 2, 3.
Ningependa niangalie kamera gani? Ningependa watu wangu, ningependa kutuma salamu kwa my people. Like nitaanza na my extended family, Shem Alusa family, na pale hata wengine kama reply messages kwa hiyo group najua mna watch. Pokeeni salamu nyinyi wote. However, I'll mention Mishi because Mishi ndo reply. Mishi, pokea salamu sana na kupenda. My son ni Mluya, aliniambia, Daddy, you'll be on TV tomorrow. Nikajua huyu ni Mluya. Tuma salamu. Akani Mali, pokea salamu. Teshi, pokea salamu. Faraja, pokea salamu. Nao mapacha pia, mpokea salamu. Alafu pia singependa kumalizia hii kitu bila kusema. Honestly, kuna mtu tunasahau hapa. Without So we've done the, we've done the movie. Foxconn have provided the resources. We have come in with the creativity. Those things have merged. But Safaricom was somewhere else, and we were somewhere else. Our in-between, our go-between, was one brilliant lady, beautiful, amazing, resilient lady. Pia kuna passion mob. Her name is Wangeshi Murage. She runs a marketing company called Media Pros. She's the one who was able to now take this product and run with it. She believed in it. She saw it. She loved it. And now we are where we are, honestly, because she was able to use her links, use her connect to get us to Safaricom base. So kudos to Wangeshi Murage, whatever she is.
We salute you.
I just need to salute these few people, my cast and crew.
Those who could not make it here.
Yeah, I have loads and loads of respect, man. You guys, you do not know how I feel. You've got to get inside of me to know how I feel.
Usilia.
Yeah, everyone from the writer, Kajetan Boy, from the producer, Kara. This film, the minimum age of the crew and cast, the average age was, I think, about 30. Can imagine. So what that tells us really that we have a bright future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ombogo, my man, Joji, Camera Pale, Ben Kiilu.
Good job.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right. And
Umesahau bana. Hiyo Land Rover imegezwa na that Land Rover
yenye ilianguka.
Hiyo Land Rover tuko na stuntman in this country called Luanda Jawar. Anakupandia na pikipiki kwa staircase, anateremka. That Land Rover he took, haikuwa easy to roll that thing. It took, I think was a number of takes, but he did.
I think 3.
Like 3 takes. And you can see Luanda is an amazing Uzeze,
and this goes to speak of the talent that we have in the Kenyan space, and understanding that when we come together, like, there's so much more that we can do. Just looking at the cast, the directors, the stunts, the marketing. All that has contributed to bringing to life Mission to Rescue, a Kenyan production. Na inatuonyesha lens, we can also do better. We have to bring this conversation to an end at this particular point. Film industry, look at him. All about the film industry, of course. We will have more of this sit-downs to just see where we are. Take stock of how far we have come and what more we have to do to just grow the creative space as we progress on with the years. We have been speaking with Melvin Alusa, who is an actor and the lead actor, to be specific, in this particular movie, Mission to Rescue, and Gilbert Lucaya, who is also one of the directors in this particular movie, Mission to the only. I withdraw and apologize. Withdraw and apologize.
You had come so well.
Gilbert Lukalia, the director on Mission to Rescue. Check it out. Let us buy Kenya, build Kenya, and support Kenya. We've come to the end of this. Bye, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you.
Conversation still continues. The hashtag is Good Morning Kenya. More is coming up. We have a music interview in a bit. Stay with us.